my name is Jessica Dalton. I will be interviewing Ma'am Thamaga today. She will be leaving Mapeleheng Matlala next April for pension. So I wanted to get to know her a little better and interview her, asking some questions about her so we can have a good memory of all of her accomplishments and wonderful things she has done here. Thank you. All right, Ma'am Thamaga, tell me about yourself.
Oh, yes, thank you. My name is Matau Anna Thamaga, and I was born in 1954 in April the 21st. And in the village called Pokwani. Pokwani is under Nebo, which was in the former name, it was called, or it was known as a region, because now we have some district, but now it falls under district Sikukule. Yes, and then my family, I will say we are 3 in my family, and I'm the last born. The firstborn was only son, so he passed on, and the second one is the lady also, the girl. She's still alive.
Okay.
And so my mother was a single parent, and she passed on last year on the 29th December, and we buried her this year January on the 5th, on the 15 years. So she was born in 1912, February the 7th. So she was 100 years of age.
Wow.
Yes. So she was keen in agriculture and very passionate. She planted maize, she the groundnuts, selling them to feed us, so that we can cope up with the inflation, the past inflation.
Yeah.
Yes, and so she was also good in knitting grass brooms and sell them, and cultural mats, in other ways.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then she then sell them also so that she can make us grow. And she helps many people in their field so that they pay her. Yes, and this was very difficult for her to carry on this burden alone, since she could not attend any school. Yes, so her family helped her. Her elder sister, took me to raise me, and then she raised me from my childhood until I became a teenager.
Okay.
Yes, and friendship. I had friends with whom we played like any other child. Yes, some indigenous games, that was those we played, such as ghetto. Do you know ghetto?
Yes.
Ghetto. We use the stones and anything we can play so that our friendship carry on. And the skipping rope, we call it impa in that time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But now young children call it kati. Yes. And then let me go to our chores at our age. As girls, we had to go and fetch for cows dry and wet waste matters, so that we can come and make the floor. It was an culture, traditional polish.
Yes.
Yes, the traditional polish. We used to fetch it from the field. Yes, and then it was interesting because we used to go there as groups of girls, and then going there, singing some songs, carrying some with those wet waste matters of the cows. Then we also go out for natural vegetables. The morogo, we call it morogo, yes. With the names such as legutu, teyepe, lehlanye, muchacha, not like spinach. Many, yes. Then we go there, then it was good because we eat natural vegetables. Then life was so healthy.
Yeah.
We had no different, we had no these recent diseases.
Okay.
Yes. And then from there, we were also taught how to plow in the field. Yes. Our grandfathers, our grandmothers, even though I didn't know my grandmother, but that my mother's sister, I call it my aunt.
Okay.
So when they go to the field to plow with cows, they taught me how to handle the plow. And then they sweep the cows so that they pull the cow. But you have to have the seed with you in the hand. Coming, we said we are we give the spaces of that seed in the lines where the plow is pulling the lines. Yes, it's going. And then from there it was good because we were flexible. By then, for every parent could send you anywhere. Any parent could send you anywhere and inform your parents where you are whereabouts. It was good. Then the religion. During those years, we used to attend Methodist church. Yes, that was my aunt's church. Yes, and I even attended a class and I confirmed there as a young Christian girl. Yes, that was how it was supposed to be. My aunt was very strict. My aunt was very strict. She was very caring. She did not take no, not, or no for any answer. No. If you tell her something must come with the right answer, but not just anytime no or anytime yes. And then one should be very careful when done something wrong with my aunt.
With your aunt?
Yes. I was not be heard saying any vulgar words. If she heard you saying any vulgar word, you will answer for that. She was very Christian. Yes. So this taught me something that if you are a person, you should respect other people's values. Yes. So she also taught to pray every evening. She taught me to pray every evening, in the morning and also before eating. Yes, we had to say, thank you God for everything you are giving us. Yes. So educational information. Now, I started school in 1964. Yes, while I was 10 years old. That time we started schooling at the late age.
Late age, yeah.
Late age, yes. So my principal was Mem Matiba. She was very strict, that lady. And in that school, I attended my lower primary. There were levels called lower primary, higher primary. So the one I studied was a lower primary, which was called Lehlaka Lower Primary School. And until I go to Pokwane Higher Primary School, yes, to start to standard 2, and in lower primary I started sub A to standard 1. Then to higher primary it started with standard 2. So I do standard 2 until I completed my standard 6. Mhm. I worked hard that I got my first class in my standard 6. Yes, the first class was now, these days, it's recognized as distinction. But that time it was called first class. So my standard 6, I got it in first class, yes. So it was a great achievement because I was the only girl amongst all boys and girls. Yes, so my family was proud of me.
That's wonderful.
And they were very proud of me. And then my teacher were very proud of me as well. Extramural activities. I was very passionate in sport. I took part in athletics, whereby we even went places such as Leidenberg. We went Leidenberg to compete the athletics. Leidenberg, Driekop, Arabi, which is now known as Dombislika. It was a former Koshi's college.
Okay.
Yes, the chiefs were trained there. Like this one, the chief.
Oh, they
Yes,
trained
yes,
him.
he trained in Arabi, Boaparangwe. It was called
Wow.
as Boaparangwe because they put on the animals'
Skin.
Yes, so it was known as Boaparangwe. So he attended there. And I like running 220 meters. That was my favorite sport, my favorite track. And high jump, those were my sport. I also took part in music. It was great to sing girls' choir and mixed choir. We also knew places. And when we went out, we don't come empty-handed. We won cups from those places. We went places such as Middelburg for music competitions and Glencowie and also Leidenburg as well. We were very proud of our teacher, Mr. Madine. I now don't know if he is still alive, but he was old. So, and Mr. Ribakwani, those were the fans of the music. They know music in and out. Those were our role models. Even though now I didn't specialize in music, but I like it. Every year here when they bring us the note for music, I try to take the choir, but I don't care if I don't win. So this inspired me until that I'm still having that passion today, the passion of athletics, the passion of music. Yes, in athletics I lead the committee in the athletics. Yes. Secondary education now. I moved to stay with my mother. I attended my secondary level at Patametsani. Patametsani is a high school. I don't know if it's now high school, but it was a secondary school right in Pokwan, in my village. Okay. Yes. I started Form 1 in 1972. And my principal was Mr. Mashari. He came from Marishana there. When you go to JFS, if you take the route from Leboahong, then via Marishana, then Glencowie, then Pokwane. My English teacher was Mr. Maibele. Mr. Maibele was from Mhlala Utwani here in Hakoshi, Matlala. Yes. So he taught me poetry very, very vividly. Yes. I was also doing housecraft. My teacher was Mem Makabu. By then, but she's now Mem Mutlake. Yes, so she taught me housecraft. She was excellent in teaching us how to sew too, to cook and household as well. Household as a whole. Yes. So she was very disciplined and passionate in her work too. So we could even adopt the style of sewing. Yes, you cannot see me having a torn cloth. If I see something is torn, I have to take a needle, then knit it. Yes. I passed my Form 3, which is now grade 10.
Grade 10.
Then I come to the tertiary education now. Challenges now. I had to go to the college or tertiary, but my mother had nothing to help with. She had nothing to help with. So I had a friend who helped me to apply for a bursary from SACC, South African Council of Churches. That was my hero. That was my hero, Abel Matenchi. She know my background, then she told me that, okay, Anna, it's better if you try this luck. Then God was with me. I made an application, then I was granted a bursary.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And then I had I applied to Mamkalake Training College of Education. It is right in Mutetema. Yes, when we via Grublasdal, there is a location in Mutetema. The Mamkalake Training is situated there, even though it's no more existing as college. The colleges of education, they are now, I don't know, but they are changed to other institutions. Yes. So to do PTC, I went there to do PTC, Primary Teachers Certificate. Yes. And then I started in 1977 there. It was tough only to find that they want only 40 rand to register. For me to register, I was proud to produce the letter of acceptance from the South African Council of Churches, thinking that it was only the way. But I thought it was not only simple. I had to register first so that they can refund my 40 rand. So it was a shock to went back to ask for that 40 rand to my mother, from my mother. I did not even had nothing to go home. To go home from Tetema to Wopokwan, it was around 5 rand, less than 5 rand for in that years, in 1977. Yes. There was a good friend who borrowed me 10 rand to go home, to take that 40 rand and come back the same day. A wholehearted Mr. Matlala, Paul Matlala, he's also a relative, but he's a relative to my aunt who brought me, and helped my mother with that 40 rand. And I could register. Yes. Another challenge, God helped me, I passed my teaching certificate after hopeless incidents occurred in the middle of the year 1978. A strike took place and they sent us home. They sent us home. Go home, we will call you, then you will come and write examination.
Wow.
So it was the second year now. They promised us to call us back to sit for exams. I told myself that I'm going to make it. I used to study right in the river. You can't believe it. I used to study in the river every day to get ready, because there were many disturbances at home. Yes, so after cooking in the morning, then during between 10 and towards in the afternoon, so I go to the river then I sit in the tree, then I start my work, then I start my work. We were called to write exams, and indeed I got it. I got the certificate. I specialized in junior work specialization. It was called junior work kindergarten. Yes, there was a special course called kindergarten, then I went for it. So they thought if you have this, you can also teach from preschool up to any level of secondary or primary. Yes. So working field now is where now I find myself now. Yes. A challenge again. The department used a criteria to allocate posts in the circuit offices. There was no this time of application and interviews in the offices or in the schools. We queue right in the circuit office. Yes, we queue in the circuit office. We would find ourselves queuing there, but at the end you will be given a post. I was sent to Hamasemula. I don't know if you know Hamasemula. Hamasemula, if you go this way, you pass it, then you will pass Hamarishana, then you go to Pokwan. Yes, if you take this way of Leboaho. Then it was tough because it was the first time I went out, leaving my family, going out very far from my family to start new life. But the school at Ramasemula was called Khoro Primary School in 1979 now. I completed in 1978. Right in January 1979, is when that I started teaching. It was a challenge because I had never been exposed to that village. I had to adapt myself in that situation of being independent. Yes. So another challenge. By then, one was supposed to wait for a period of 5 to 6 months until you get your salary. Yes, it was very difficult. The department have to make you wait until you get your salary between 5 and 6 months. So it was difficult because you were expecting very less compared to today's inflation. We were paid 100 rand, only 100 rand before deductions. Out of that, you are left with 95 rand. 5 rand was for pension. Yes. So to live, that will make you to live and help your family with that 95 rand. But imagine I have to wait for that 5 to 6 months. So I then applied for a course transfer to Madibum Primary School. Madibum Primary School is right now in Jane Face. So I have to try to go further, closer next to my home, even though it was still far, but it was better. Yes. Then I started teaching at Madibum Primary School from the beginning of August, the same year, 1979. So in 1982, I applied for a transfer to Maila Primary School to be with my in-laws. My husband is from Hamaila, Sobolo, so then I had to transfer to that village to stay with my in-laws. By the end of that year, I went to Witbank at Ritzbraid because I was on accouchement leave. Yes. The following year, which is 1983 now, in February, I had an interview at Leshaka Primary in Ritzbraid, open cast mine. Open cast mine in Ritzbraid is closer to Ochis. It's around Witbank.
Okay.
Yes, my husband worked there. And then My husband was appointed there as switchboard operator. And then I had to apply for an emergency transfer because I was leaving Kamaila. Then I had to make an emergency transfer so that I can start in March in 1983. Yes. I was appointed to teach learners Sepedi, speaking learners, Sotho and Tswana speaking learners. I was also teaching English, Afrikaans, religious education, and health education. I worked with a competing staff in academic and social life. So my principal was very inspiring concerning development. It was my principal was Mr. Chabalala at that time, yes. So I registered with Bontozang Gomu for studying matric. Remember, I didn't make a matric. I made grade 10. Then in that time, we were permitted to go to the college with your grade 10. From grade. I completed it at the end of 1987. Another challenge, I had to come back home now by the end of 1987. I stayed in Klepievel. Klepievel is the next village here. Just this year, yes. We started settling there in 1987. Yes. So we were the first family to settle in the Klepievel. There was no village, only ourselves.
Wow.
We liked it because Koshi was promised to be transferred in this area. So we were the first people to come there. Yes, and then in 1989, I had a post in the present school until now. Yeah, so this school was established in 1989 in 15 May. So I started here having that post. So I had a break of a year in 1989. I mean 88. Yes. So I acted as a principal, or let me say I acted a principalship post because it was in a new establishment in May 1989 here now. So my post was on probation until when I was appointed permanently in 1992. So I taught grade 3, 4, and 6 until that in 1988 when I was seconded into preschool for the year, for there was a need from the department. There was a circular which was sent to schools to say we need one teacher from the primary to be seconded in the primary school. So I was the one to be seconded in the primary school. I mean in the preschool.
In the preschool.
In the preschool, yes. So in 1989 now, I had a challenge when allocation of classes was done in 1989. I was allocated grade 1. God gave me wisdom of how to develop the criteria because I never taught it. Yes, I started with grade 3 and so on. I never started teaching grade 1. So God provided wisdom to how to have come up with the criteria. How can I teach these learners to come and know how to read and write? Yes. So I taught this grade till today, from 1989. So I enjoyed the way learners are achieving reading and their home language at the end of each year. Each year, when learners are promoted, if I'm not lucky, I find that I have only not more than 3, not more than 5, but less than 5, either 3 or 2 or 1 who are not making it. Yes. So they are also able to calculate maths problems by applying their home language marital status now. I got married in 1980, the 12th, first, on the 1st of December 1980. So I got married when I was 26 years old. And I'm married to Thamaga Abraham Muramugali. We celebrated our wedding in 1982, February the 2nd. So marriages of those days were very reasonable. They were very reasonable. Negotiations of lobola was ranging from 200 rand. That was the ranging of negotiations of lobola to 600.
Wow.
If recognized high, you will be married by a lobola of 600 rand, which was very expensive, which was very recognized person.
Okay.
They will talk about you when you are paid a lobola of 600 rand. Yes. Nowadays, paying lobola, one should have some thousands.
Yes.
Yes. So all of these are costly. There were no videos like now we are having it, but few cameras. My husband used to shoot people with camera. That was the recent, the former information we got. So children, I'm blessed with 6 children, 4 girls and 2 boys. The first one is Joyce, Keith, second boy, Pearl, the third girl, Precious, the fourth girl, Baldwin, the 5th boy, and Lesedi, the last girl. So 4 of them are working and 2 are still studying at tertiary level. Yes. So their elder sister is a lecturer in KZN University as a senior lecturer in food security. Joyce.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. She is married to Chicha family. She's having 2 daughters. Yes. And she has PhD in agriculture, food security in specialization. She is married, as I've said, and have 2 kids. And her brother is also working fixing cars electronically.
Okay.
Yes. So another girl is another girl is working as a marketing researcher in ABSA bank, that is Pearl. That I'm talking about is Pearl, yes.
The third born.
Sorry?
The third born.
The third born, yes. Is working as a marketing researcher in ABSA bank, as a manager in strategy consultation. And she has a degree in commerce. She also completed it in KZN.
Okay.
By that time it was called Pietermaritzburg, University of Pietermaritzburg. They have now make it one as KZN University. Even there is one in Durban, but they all fall under KZN University. Yes, and so she is now busy studying with Wits University, doing masters in strategic marketing. Yes. The other girl has done diploma in traveling tourism, that is Precious, but has studied event management. She is busy with events and also planning wedding celebrations. Their younger brother is studying a degree in human and social sciences, that is Baldwin. at KZN University. He is studying media, economics, and politics. Their younger sister, being a last-born, is studying diploma, that is Lesedi, in marketing management at Damelin Bradley, Johannesburg. And now furthering studies, my furthering studies. After realizing the importance that teaching needs one to develop himself or herself, so I registered with Vista University and did SEC, Secondary Education Certificate, and completed in 1993, November. I specialized in home economics. Home economics, I took it as inspiration from housecraft, which I did when I was doing Form 3. So I further register with Promet College in association with University of Witwatersrand. Yes, I did diploma in education. I did this because as a M+3, that is RQV 13, senior primary. And this is inspiring for one to be accredited to qualify for registering for an ACE, Advanced Certificate in Education. So in 2007, I had an opportunity to grab. There was an advertisement of bursaries to be granted to teachers to specialize in NEEDs, special needs, in inclusive education. I knew that was a calling. I then tried my luck. I applied. I was selected and started my long wish, having a degree, because this is equivalent to a degree. That is, yes, it is accredited as a degree. So I registered with the University of South Africa, that is UNISA. I studied inclusive education, barriers to learning. I then chose learning difficulties in that inclusive education. I completed it in 2010. Challenges now. I wished I could go on doing honors, but I had economic challenges because my kids were still at school. Yeah. I'm getting through now. The course helped me great. I can access the child's difficulty early at the beginning of the year, and I try to meet with the parents. If I discover any problem in the child, then the courses helped us that by the beginning of the year, if you come across any problem in the child, call the parents, then you will have the smooth way of helping the child. Yes. Then this helped me to know how and where to start. School development involvement now, cultural affairs. I am involved in the cultural committee in this school. The committee is promoting the teachers' and learners' welfare. The committee contributes something on happy days and sad days. If one of us or any child we are with here is come across any death, then we contribute something. If it's a teacher also, we do as well. If it's happiness, we do elsewhere, but not with learners. Yes. And sports matters. The same committee is also inculcating the knowledge in sporting activities such as athletics, soccer, netball, and other indigenous games. I'm facilitating the athletics during athletic practices. It is taking place in the beginning of the year. Then I go there and I facilitate it. Yes. Then I enjoy it as I was an athlete during my teenage and youth, my teenage years and youth days. Learners' needs. There is a first aid kit at our school. Learners are being taken care of by me when they get injured. I attended workshop of first aiders organized by Department of Health in 2011. Yes. So Soul Buddies Club. In 2003, the Soul City introduced Soul Buddies to all schools of South Africa. And I was recommended to take the responsibility. The staff, Mbelele Matala school staff, recommended me to take care of that, to take that opportunity of being a Soul Buddies facilitator. I took the offer. We used to attend workshops to have the skill to facilitate the club. Learners volunteer to be members, so we don't choose, they have to volunteer out of their will. So their membership is open from grade 2 to grade 7. They are developing their life skills by reading from their unit guide sent by Soul Buddies Club from the office in Johannesburg. So they send us material so that learners know where to get their information. They have to apply their skill by developing posters and also sending monthly reports. They also receive incentives for their efforts. I think you saw them wearing aprons.
Yes.
They send them as good efforts of what they're doing.
Oh, very nice.
They are encouraged to make difference and research about some other matters they encountered at the school and in the community. Yes. The number is limited to 20 per facilitator. The school can have many groups depending on the number of the teachers. If there is another teacher interested, she must have another group of 20.
Okay.
Yes. Teacher information. Teachers has formed different unions in South Africa. I belong to SATU, South African Democratic Teachers Union. And it is also important as a governmental employee to have your own union in terms of your labor relations. Yes. Short courses. I got a certificate of attendance in sexuality education and in HIV and AIDS education in primary school. It was in 2001 and organized by the Sacred Heart College Research and Development Unit. In 2002, I got a certificate of participation with Sacred Heart, in particular with Medumo for sounds and animals. Yes. And in 2005, I completed the certificate with Mashile IT Solutions as basic computer literacy course. Yes, but now I think everything is vanished. But it doesn't matter if I can have something I can remember, I can recall what we were taught.
Yes.
So in 2007, I also received a certificate of attendance in Soul Buddies Club for facilitation training. Teaching experience. I have 34 years in teaching experience. I have been teaching grade 1 since 1999 up to date. That is an experience I have ever exposed to my life. So, social relations now. Religion. I'm a fully member of Zion Christian Church, ZCC. Yes. I'm developing children in spiritual and moral in Sunday school so that they become good citizens. I am also belonging to the church program where we guide learners from grade 10 to 12 on how to choose subjects as well as to attend career exhibitions, winter enrichment classes, applications, and motivational talks in this church. So the church organizes this all. Let me say the program I'm belonging it is used to do this, and each and every member must do it, must see to it that in his village there is learners which are motivated to attend that. Yes. So social economic. I have a great challenge in taking care of household, paying fees for children as my husband is no longer employed. Yes. But he's trying to employ himself. He is now busy in the field there, trying to plow some vegetables and all this. Yes. I'm also staying with my grandson as his mother has passed on. I stayed with him since 1999. But one feels good because that's how one plow back in a way. By helping that child, I think I'm very proud because I experienced that kind of life when I was still a child. So I must have a thanking way of doing things in that grandson. Where am I? I really feel blessed because it is how God wants us to help orphans. His mother is my sister's daughter, and he is studying in FET in Polokwane Capricorn College. His name is Thamaga. Yes, because my maiden surname, I'm Monama. Now I'm married to Thamaga. Yes. So he is studying mechatronics. Yes, he's doing he's repeating that course, but he was very disappointed. But we encouraged him, go and do it, you'll make it. Yes. So social clubs now. There is a women's club which we established to help each other when one of us is having either a wedding celebration for her child, paying lobola for a child, unveiling of tombstones, and Stokvel as well. This contribution is circulating unless there is something reported. This is the last report now. We are 16 in number and contribute 530 each. Wow. Yes, when someone is having a wedding for a daughter, if there is nothing reported, then we circulate. We give one until we come and make that circle. Then if it's completed, it will give you 8,000 rand. Wow. 480. So I'm also involved in a burial society which we established in 1990. I have been a secretary until that we discovered that it's not possible when we have to go to the bank because one will be in school. And I'm currently a chairperson of the monitoring committee in that society. I think it's good if one is involved in many activities in the community, wedding celebrations now, and party occasions. Entertainments. There are groups of women dancing to entertain people during the weddings and other occasions. I'm also included in one of those groups.
Oh, wonderful.
I think it is important for a person to be involved in the community activities such as social clubs, like I've mentioned. Another family club, we have come together and as different families and agreed that we should bring along all the necessary household utensils if one of those beneficiaries is having an occasion such as wedding celebrations or death and etc. We bring along those household utensils. There will be some tanks, dishes, and everything, so that there will be no shortages. Yes. And it's so good that we can afford any kind of crowd one may host during the incidents. Nowadays, women are ready for any incidents. And also, I'm through.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Thamaga.
Yes.
I am so impressed with everything you have accomplished.
Yes.
You have overcome so many challenges in your life to be where you are. It's so great to hear how active of a community member you are, not only at home but also at school. It is very impressive, and we are so happy to have had you here at Mapeleheng Matlala since 1989 at the very start. So you have had such a prosperous career and raised such wonderful children. It sounds like they have been so successful already, every single one of them. So we are very proud to have you as one of our teachers here. And it's something that all the teachers can look up to and use you as a role model for how they can become a very successful teacher. Thank you very much for your time. Very much
Also
enjoyed
very
it.
much, I'm very, very proud, and I'm very much appreciative of what you have thought about to take me out of...
Hello, today we are here for part 2 of our interview with Ma'am Thamaga. So we wanted to discuss a couple more things we did not get to touch upon yesterday. So Ma'am Thamaga, it's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know you wanted to share with us something about your mother. We did not speak about her last time.
Thank you.
So if you could please let us know.
Yes. You know, my mother's name, because I didn't mention her name, my mother's name is Mama Ishe Mukwele Rebecca Monama. And in culture, we inherit praising names. So her praising name is Buledia Mazwi Ahlabiwa. So Buledia Ahlabiwa Mazwi. I'm mistaken. Buledia Ahlabiwa Mazwi. And my praising name as well is Piladi. Piladi Buledia Ahlabiwa Mazwi. I was named after her aunt, Mataru, as my name is Mataru, yes. And culturally, we praise our surnames. So, Rena Rebamunama Mtsuri. Rebamunama Mtsuri, Rejwa Biatladi, Hamama Wulo, Rebabina Kulu, Verwato, Kwampila, baena kulube re baena kulube re tswa Biatladia a Mamabulo. Ba ba re go ge ba bona metsi a pula ba ra phiele, so ke Moselangkona, ke seo sa Moselangkona.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's lovely to hear your praise name and your mother's praise name. My praise name is Hunadi. So Hunadi and Piladi. They're very similar. I like them both. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else?
I think no, I've got nothing to tell, but it was so grateful to be interviewed, to get all my biography, to get all my life. That was great. By this time, as I see, it is going to be tough next year when I depart, but it's part of life, there's no problem. Yes, I will be on pension next year. So I'm very much thankful for this arrangement of an interview, which I ever didn't think of it. But I'm very proud and very grateful of that. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much also. And we very much enjoyed speaking with ma'am today.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for making time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
And a quick thank you also to Mr. Mokwena Japta for helping us with videoing today.